if you do not have any work experience at all, this training can be used as a work experience. So you have it under training, but because training section on CVs does not allow you the opportunity to explain, you just write it there, cybersecurity training, MyDreamConnect. That is what training allows. But for work experience, it allows you to state what you have done. Go to your work experience and add graduate trainee. You are in training. Add graduate trainee, or just add trainee if you are still in school. And then highlight the achievements you'll be able to make on the job. Don't tell us what you do on a daily basis. Tell us the projects you have worked on. They've given you projects. What was your part in it? Tell us. Collaborated with a team of 6 to develop a calculator. Collaborated with a team of this to develop a weather app. Tell us. So it's there. They're able to say, okay, this person has gone into what's it called? A person that's actually doing something in that training and not just playing around. Your volunteering experience. In my last session, people that were in my last session, I mentioned that for volunteering experience, no matter how small it seems in your eye, no matter if you were doing it for God, put it on your CV. If it is a church volunteering experience you have, put it there. If it is in a workspace, put it there. If you are volunteering for MyDreamConnect now, put it there. No matter how small it is, put it there. And if you've not been volunteering, this is a good time to volunteer. I told the people that were in my last session, I have a friend that the bulk of her experience, that how she started off her career, was in a volunteering experience while she was in school with ISEC for about maybe a year or 2. And she didn't put it under volunteering because that really formed the part of her experience. She put it under work experience, the first under work experience, even though when people see it, they'll say that ISEC, okay, she was a student. But it shows that this thing I did, I didn't see that I did it with the mindset that I was working. So please, the importance of volunteering cannot be overemphasized. And lastly, interest. Interest outside the work. It doesn't have to be related to work. It just helps us see the other side of you, how you relax and all that. And that can be conversation starters in interviews to help you with your interview. I hope I'm not taking too much time. If you have any questions at this point, please let me know. Let me check what is in the chat. Joshua says portfolio website URL is a big plus. It should be available to add to one's resume. Yes, I mentioned that. That's what I said. So when I said if applicable, there are some fields that do not need portfolios. But I'm saying that I'm speaking to tech guys here. So you must add your portfolio. It is not applicable. It is compulsory. You must add it. That is something I said earlier. You must add it. Very important. Toby, thank you. So Toby says he's giving us an example. Organize 50 virtual session. That's just a task. Yes, that's just a responsibility. We are now adding quantifiable metric with a 95% approval rating, measured through Google Forms or Mentimeter. So you are showing us that you did the work and you are having results. You're showing us the result. What the work you did translated for the organization. So you can say, oh, I was a salesperson. But what were you doing as a salesperson? What did your responsibility as a salesperson translate to for your organization? Did it increase sales for your organization? Did it increase customer walk-in? Did you get positive feedback? Those things are the ones you should. So you should be concerned about the numbers. So Toby, I think my time is up. Please touch a bit on how you explain a change of career in CV. Do I have a few minutes to do that? Am I allowed to? Someone just asked a question.
I think we can take that in the question and answer session.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Don't worry. Toby has said we would discuss that in question and answer.
Thank you very much, Bob. We wanted to squeeze in your template show, but maybe if we still have time later, we can squeeze that in after the second session. So because we've been learning and writing, I'm sure. Thank you very much, Bob. Let's give out a hand of applause. That was a very insightful session. I feel like I should have paid for that. If I was paid for that, that would be a lot. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That was quite informative. So thank you very much, ma'am. I'm sure everybody here has picked up one thing or the other. Whether you have a CV, whether you do not have a CV, you can take if you don't have a CV, you can take those points and start forming one. those will be what you can use to put together a CV. If you have a CV, I'm sure you picked something from that that you can add to your CV or resume to improve it. A lot of times when people say, "Oh, I don't have jobs, I didn't get this job, I didn't get this job," your CV did not speak or tell your story properly. You were screened out before you had the chance to speak. Your CV speaks for you, it has a mouth as well. So let's learn the art of showing up professionally, which takes us to our second session for today. Our second session for today is LinkedIn visibility, turning connections to opportunity. Aside having a CV, you need to have a place where you show yourself socially, professionally, and every other place wise. You need to show how you're building your life, how you're building your professional life, your faith, your beliefs, your creed, and that's where LinkedIn comes into play. You don't have to be loud on LinkedIn. You have to be clear. A lot of people get confused when they see LinkedIn. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm not interesting enough. I don't have activities. This session will help you show how you can use LinkedIn. For people that are learning things, if you're new to the tech space, you're learning, you can use LinkedIn. If you're a 10-year professional, you can use LinkedIn. If you are just starting out, you do not have a job at all, you can use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for everyone. So this session will show us how to show up online professionally. LinkedIn is the first place. And how to intentionally network ourselves. We need to start learning how to use a network to move far. In our last Saturday session, we talked about how networking provides people with a roadmap so that you know the shortcuts on your journey. Everybody is going through a journey. Your career is your journey. Your skills are the things you need to take on that journey. We made that differentiation in the last session. And this session will be taken by none other than Madam Titilayo Obafemi. Now, I'll just read out who our expert is today that's joining us from the next slide. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're enjoying the session so far, please let's use our emoji. Okay. So Titilayo Obafemi is a talent development strategist, educator, and the founder of Titilayo Obafemi Hub. She's a creative and professional learning space dedicated to helping individuals build clarity, confidence, and capacity in their work. She has a background that spans education, career coaching, and organizational growth. She guides people into self-discovery, employability, and sustainable impact. She believes and feels that growth should feel safe, human, and rooted in purpose. Her workshop or her programs, they create environments like this where people can think, they can stretch and evolve. It's not just about scaling up, it's about growing your mindset too. When she's not facilitating or building learning systems, she partners with initiatives like ACE Virtual Hub and NovaSync. So our facilitator today is an expert on subject matter. And without further ado, I'll be welcoming Titilayo Obafemi to take us into the session. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Toby. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invitation, and thank you to Fatima for that explanatory thing on CV. Um, I'm going to be bringing my own personal branding angle from LinkedIn. And my first question is going to be that how many people are on LinkedIn here? Even if you're on LinkedIn, you dropped it, or it has been like a year, how many people on LinkedIn? Just Mr. Toby. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. George Yetunde, Genesis is on LinkedIn. Olashupo is on LinkedIn. Joshua. All right. That's very, very right. So I want to ask two people who can unmute. And how do you perceive LinkedIn from afar? How do you perceive LinkedIn? Just two people. All right, Said, you raised your hand. So Said, you're on LinkedIn. How do you perceive LinkedIn? All right, Moi, Moi and Genesis, let me hear your view.
Yeah, Genesis speaking now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, LinkedIn is fine, but it's just that in recent time, I've not really been maximizing the LinkedIn. At the time, I left my LinkedIn. Recently, when I want to go to it, they will just be asking me premium. If you don't do premium, so I'll just get out again and leave the place. So that's make my LinkedIn account not really be very active and attracting for now.
All right, all right. I get that. All right, Moi, what about you?
I see. Well, good morning, ma. I see LinkedIn as a way of networking because I've met some people that I met through LinkedIn, and as a way of like creating more opportunities, getting internship, and getting job. Although it's very difficult and it takes time to like because you need to apply before you like get positive and negative response.
All right, all right. Thank you very much. When people come into our hub for LinkedIn challenge and they want to build their LinkedIn profile, the first thing they say is that LinkedIn is too strict, LinkedIn is too professional. But the fact is that LinkedIn can be easy if you look at it from certain angle. Now we are talking about personal branding, and personal branding is the way that you show the world who you are, your values, your strengths, what makes you unique, the image you want people to remember of you when they think of you, your brand. And people first thought that personal branding was something that has to do with the product. But I want to bust the myth of that is that personal branding is about you because you are your brand. I am my brand. So the brand I'm building on LinkedIn is Titilayomi. I'm not building a product. You are your brand. So those, because social media strategists always say that nobody wants to work with a faceless brand. Even if you're selling a product, they want to know the person that is behind the brand. So that is why the conclusion came that you are your brand. Now, if you want to build, I will first talk about personal branding before I go to LinkedIn because it has a deep root about what you are before you now say, okay, you're coming to LinkedIn to come and show it to the world. And this is the simple breakdown that I want to work on. I'm working on identity, I'm working on message, I'm working on presence, and I'm working on consistency. That is the breakdown I want to work on that will build what you're going to do on LinkedIn. Now, the first thing is identity. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you care about? Because if these four things are not clearly stated, if these four things are not clearly known by you, LinkedIn is going to be like you're swapping in the ocean of many people who are just coming in, and you will be like a round peg in a square hole. When I first came on LinkedIn, I came on LinkedIn 2021. I came then because I was selling a product. So everyone was like, they were getting like sales from LinkedIn. So I also joined LinkedIn. But I came into LinkedIn without having any clarity. I came to LinkedIn without having any strategy. So when I came on LinkedIn, I was overwhelmed because I didn't know what I was doing. The noise was too much. Everybody was saying this professional. So I left. But when I started getting more firm in my career, LinkedIn was a compulsory thing for me. I couldn't do without it because I wanted to build a brand and people needed to see me. Because right now, you know, when Fatima was talking to us about CV, she showed us and she said LinkedIn profile. Because in year 2025, even when you drop your CV or your resume, the recruiter still wants to go to LinkedIn to go and verify because they believe that LinkedIn is very professional. LinkedIn is very strict, that anyone you see on LinkedIn, that person has gone through thorough screening of LinkedIn. So they want to see what the person has done over time, the journey of the person. So that is why you have to have those 4 things. You have to have them. Now, your message, what do you want to express through your words, through your tone, through your storytelling? Are you expressing how you moved from point A to point B? Are you expressing things that is in your niche? Are you expressing how your career is going, the challenges, the testimonies about your career? Everything matter on LinkedIn. And how you show up, how often do you show up? Because these things, they matter, and how your consistency is. So someone once told me that she was on LinkedIn for a while and she wasn't getting the impressions and visibility. She thought she wasn't getting visibility. Not knowing to her, a particular recruiter has been following her for a while. And the man has been watching her journey when she was showing how she started, when she finished learning virtual assistant, to the challenges, to everything. And she has been trying to reach that recruiter for a while. She has been sending DM, she has been sending emails and everything. The recruiter didn't answer. But after a particular time, it was the recruiter that messaged her that I'm looking for a position and you are the best fit for that. That is what LinkedIn can do for you. A lot of people are getting jobs on LinkedIn because they've shown their journey. They've shown when they were in the lowest, they've shown how they got wins, and they've shown how their consistency is. In year 2025, over 1 billion people are on LinkedIn. As of 2025, over 1 billion. Now, imagine yourself being seen by over 1 billion people and you are in your room. You don't need to go out, but someone somewhere knows your name. That is why LinkedIn is very important in career growth. Now, with LinkedIn, social media, online talks, everybody is visible now. Now, here is why I say that is because everybody wants to know the value that you bring. Because one, trust is a new currency. They want to trust you. They want to see what your brand is about. They want to see your why. I was telling someone recently, I asked the person, I said, why are you on LinkedIn? She didn't have a why. That was why she was having a problem. Now, I now gave her a task. I said, what are your strengths? What is the thing that if you want to do, because she said she was struggling with content, she didn't know what to post and things like that. I now asked her, I said, what is your why? Who are you? What do you do? How do you do it? What is the value that I bring on the table? And I was telling her that don't follow that people are saying that, okay, I'm professional this, I'm professional that. Now, you need to bring your unique value proposition to the table. That this is what makes me different from over 1 billion person on LinkedIn. So that was what I told her. And when she came in, she was like, my strength is when I see a challenge, I'm ready to get my hands dirty to solve it. I said, that is your answer. You are a problem solver. Now, tailor your content towards that I am a problem solver. I am someone who is ready to assist when my clients have issues. That is your unique value proposition. Now, if there are pillars, the strong pillars, I'm going to go to the 10 strong pillars of personal branding. And I've talked about it, but that's define your focus. That is, anchor your brand with clear, specific focus. You align your content, you stay consistent, you share the human side of you. Now, I want to talk about this part. Now, because there is AI, and people are using AI. How many person is using AI in this place? If you're not using AI or ChatGPT, raise up your hand. Everybody's using AI. So everybody is using AI to maybe create their content, to help them with content. But most people forget to add the human part of them in their content. So when you see some posts or some talks, you know that this is strictly ChatGPT. Now, when you're telling your story or you're doing your post and you want to use ChatGPT, don't forget to add the human side of you. And that is by showing your authentic self. Showing your authentic self. Use your voice. I tell my students that if they want to use ChatGPT, first of all, you introduce yourself to ChatGPT. You tell ChatGPT, my name is Titi Layomi. That go back to what I was saying, that who you are, what you do, how you do it. You introduce yourself to ChatGPT. My name is this. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is the value I bring. That is what you do. And now, concerning your LinkedIn, there is something called the headline. There is something called the about section. Now, your headline should always, don't just say that I am an executive virtual. That's one of my part. I am an executive virtual assistant. I can't just write executive virtual assistant there. I am going to write my position, who I am for, and the value I bring to the table. So on my headline, you're going to find that I am an executive assistant. I help startup companies and fast-growing teams do this. That is the value that I bring on the table. That's when you're optimizing your LinkedIn. Your headline should show you who you are, what you're doing at the moment, how you're doing it, and the value you're bringing to that person, the solution you're providing. So if you are a designer, you can say, I help brand tell their story through designs. So your LinkedIn headline should tell the solution that you're bringing, not just you writing it straight. And also for an optimization, I tell people that you optimizing your LinkedIn is as if you're inviting people into your sitting room and you're for dinner or for lunch, and your sitting room is all scattered. That's the analogy I use for people. I say if you're inviting someone in, that means that that particular place should be ready for that person that you're inviting in. Now, a lot of people are looking for jobs on LinkedIn, but their LinkedIn profile is not optimized. And a particular recruiter once said that he just to pick someone, if that person doesn't have a good headshot, that he would not present that person. That he needs their banner to be presentable. He needs their headshot to be presentable. Now, you don't need to break the bank to get a good headshot. You can just get a clean photo and take it to Nano Banana and give Nano Banana a prompt of what you want. That is a solution now for people because of the expensive amount that people are using to get headshots, because some photographers are very, very funny. Then your about section. I always tell people to use the PASS framework, and this is the PASS framework, what I call the PASS framework: the problem, the agitation, and the solution. Now, once you are writing your about section, the problem is that now you know that there is a problem. Now, calendar management, the person doesn't know how to do calendar management. Their email box, they are missing deadlines. They are missing important details because their inbox is filled up. Now, the agitation of the person, because the person cannot solve that problem. Now, where you come in You help them to arrange their inbox. You don't just think for them, you think with them. You are their personal, not just a personal assistant, you are a productivity partner. Words like that carry weight, and people are willing to see that, okay, let me see what this person can do. The problem, the agitation, and the solution that you are bringing to the table. And when you are writing or optimizing your LinkedIn, before you do anything, for anyone who is in any niche, go to ChatGPT and ask and say, okay, I am a graphic designer. What is the keyword of my niche? They will give you, ChatGPT will give you the keywords of your niche. Now, if you are now optimizing your LinkedIn, make sure that these keywords are there, because it aids your SEO, that is your search engine optimization. That if a recruiter can search maybe calendar management, you can come in. You can come in. If the person searches virtual assistants, you can show up. If the person searches maybe data analysis, you can show up there. That is what the search engine optimization does when you are doing your optimization. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. So that is one of the most important things that is there. Now, if you're writing your content, because LinkedIn is a really deep thing, I'm trying to pack it into one in 20 minutes. Now, there's something called the content engine. Now, the content engine is that you have your authority posts, you have your proof posts, you have your story posts, and you have your conversion posts. Now, for someone who is just starting on LinkedIn, I usually advise that at most they should do 3 times a week. That is posting, showing up online 3 times a week. I showed an example there on Monday. I will still talk about the funnel of what content should be. I want to state that it is not only about posting on LinkedIn that help visibility. I usually tell people the love language of LinkedIn and the algorithm is engagement. If you post and you don't engage with other people will not see your post. There is something we call the algorithm. Now, the algorithm is AI. Now, the way the AI has been set is that your people who are your first connections, who are within your circle. Now, if all of you are within my circle on LinkedIn now, you are my first connections, and you guys are up to like 200. Now, the algorithm is going to show my post to, first of all, 50 of you. Now, if 50 of you are not active, or I did not warm up the algorithm before I came in, nobody else will see my post. The algorithm will automatically bury that post, because what it said is that this post, that means that people don't need this post. Others will not see it. But if, like for my clients now, I work on LinkedIn an hour before and an hour later. That is, she posts 7:30 a.m. So by 6:30, I'm already engaging before her post drops. And after, I now engage again to push her post to other people's feed. That is the engagement axis. And also, I usually tell people that if you want recruiters to find you, don't just send connection requests. It is very key on LinkedIn. don't just send connection requests to every person that you see. Before you send connection requests to people, I tell them that search the person. Is the person very, very, very active on LinkedIn? If the person's post was like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, please, that is a no-go area. Anybody that must be in your community, because I call it a community building, or you're building stakeholders. Everybody that must be in your community or who must be your stakeholders, they must be people who are active. If they are not active, jump and pass. And if you're also searching, you want yourself to be seen by recruiters, go to those who, all right, so I'm going to round up. Go to those who are like CEOs, those who are like HR. Anytime they post, make thoughtful comments on their post. Make thoughtful comments on their post. Even if it's top creators too, make thoughtful comments on their post. Because if you post on a creator who has a large audience, you post on the person's post, it is like 70% of other people who are in that person's circle will see your post on their feed. So that's why I said that engagement is the love language of the algorithm. Now, if you're writing a content, in your content, always put a CTA. And what does a CTA mean? Is a call to action. If you're writing a content, you've talked about maybe your journey from point A to point B. At the end of that story, what do you want those who are reading that post to do? Now, maybe I talked about a journey of when I picked up a particular tool that I didn't know how to use before, the challenges that I faced, how I faced it. Now, after I end the content, my clear CTA is, what is the tool that you have found difficult to use before? How did you scale to? I've created an open book for conversation that will happen in the comment section for people to also engage. Right now, LinkedIn is a must. I tell people, showing up online is the best strategy that you can do for yourself and for your career growth in this time, because people even respect LinkedIn more. For those who are on LinkedIn, who have been using LinkedIn very well, if you go to Google and you search your name, that is, if you're on LinkedIn, you're very, very active. If you search your name on Google, the first social media handle that will go in, that will show up, is your LinkedIn. That is why LinkedIn is so very important for every person that wants to build a career, that wants to build a brand, that wants to build a brand. You're showing up yourself to people to see you, to see your story. And when you now come out with a product, they're able to relate because they've seen you journey from one point to the other. So thank you very much for having me. I hope I've been able to round up a 1 month, what we do for 1 month in 20 minutes. Thank you very much. All right, I wanted to talk about the conversion funnel, but you can give them the slide.
Thank you very much. I think that's what we'll do, because everything here has been the session on resume writing and LinkedIn. You can't really exhaust it. You can't really exhaust it. But we've all taken action points from this. If you've taken an action point from this, or you've gotten something, please let's use our emojis. Let's say thank you so much for that session. I've really learned. I'm one of those people that needs to go and update my LinkedIn. Needs to go and improve it based on the points I've gotten. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. All right. So I'm sure we've had a double dose of a session from this. It's really, really nice. LinkedIn visibility. That's your first in into the professional world that allows people to see you, see what you're doing outside, even outside the professional realm too. Everything you're doing, things you think about, your beliefs, everything. Try and use LinkedIn as much as possible. It's the career and life social media. If you translate the amount of time you spend on TikTok and other social media apps on LinkedIn, your career is going to get a massive scale up, massive scale up. So thank you very much, ma'am. We'll be moving to the next micro activity. I'm sure we've all enjoyed the 2 sessions and had enough things to take with us. We now learned that we shouldn't just be learning alone, we should be executing. That's what we learned in the last session, and we want to carry that into this session as well. So this session will be having a breakout activity session, which after we've learned a whole lot of things professionally, we're trying to see how we can now practice those things we've learned, how I can connect with each and every one of us here. So this is just meant to be a relaxed session for us to just know ourselves. And there's going to be formats to that. So we need to learn how to introduce ourselves professionally in this. If someone asks you, who are you? You need to know how to say that. That usually is the problem sometimes, because when we want to talk to people, we don't know what to say, we're stuck. So we have a formula that I want us to try, want us to learn, then also now try out with ourselves as much as possible on this session. So the formula for it is my professional story formula. Who are you? What you do? And what you're building towards. 3 tenets formula for introducing yourself to anyone. If you're asked today, who are you? You can break it down into who you are, your name, what you do, and what you're building towards. Take it again, who you are, what you do, and what you're building towards. So example on that is, my name is, I am into, I am learning. If you are not already working, for people that are not already working, Chukwudi is asking for the slides. Don't worry, we're organizing that towards the end of the session, so stick around. My name is this, I am into this, I am learning or working towards this. If you're a learner, if you're an undergraduate, if you do not have any work experience at all, you can say, oh, my name is Toby, I am a student, I'm a fashion design student, I'm learning how to use fashion design to expressively communicate myself and my ideas. I am learning so that I can work towards building a fashion brand that is sustainable for Africa. My name is Chukwudi. I am into programming. I'm a developer. I'm currently learning this and this and this. Maybe I'm learning Python. I want to develop robust systems for this and this and this. My name is Moing. I am a student of this university. I'm currently learning this. I'm currently learning this. Or I'm a worker. I'm a tailor. I'm a banker. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm currently into this. This is what my business is around. This is what I'm doing. And this is what I'm working towards. Okay. Do we all understand that format? Your name, what you're currently into, if you're learning or working, and what you're working towards, your future goals. What are you trying to learn now to use in 2026? What are you trying to learn now to use 5 years from now? Where are you going? These are all very important, because if you've heard the term elevator pitch, this is it. You might have 30 seconds, 5 seconds, someone might walk up to you, and you need to have a format to pitch yourself. If you use this format, it cuts out any form of anxiety, shyness, because that's what holds us back a lot. But if you have this format in your head, when you sleep or when you wake up, you can always use this, a short introduction to yourself, and which starts a conversation. The person says, oh, okay, I'm actually looking for this. I'm actually looking for this. So it's very important that we start learning how to introduce ourselves properly, start learning how to introduce ourselves intentionally, how to say your name, even is the first thing. Some people gauge you by how you say your name. If you say your name less confidently, some people might feel like, oh, I'm closed back, but you need to say your name and infuse that power into it. So what we've gotten from, are we all clear on what we've gotten, how to introduce ourselves? If you have, let me get a thumbs up before we go into the session. If you still want me to go over some examples, please let me know in the chat box. So if you've gotten it, please thumbs up. Great. Aminat has gotten it. Genesis, Moin, excellent. If you still need an example, any emojis before we go into the session, because I want us to practice this. I want us to move from, okay, not so, Temi Tokwe, before we go into the session. Okay, so let me take it again. Break this introduction down into 3 parts. My name is, for example, my name is Nonso, my name is Temi Tokwe. I am into, if you are a student, you can say I'm a student of this. I'm a student of medical and nursing sciences. I'm a student of health. I'm a business owner, or I'm currently learning this, and I want to use this to build this. So you can take it from your name, what you're currently doing. If you're a student, if you're a worker, if you're a business owner, if you're a learner of anything, that's the second part. The third part is now your future goals with what you're learning or what you're currently doing. If you're a student, why are you studying? What do you want to do with that? If you're a business owner, why are you in business? What are your plans for your business? It helps people know the direction you're going to. And if you and someone else are going in that direction, you can now merge, network, collaborate, and improve your chances. So Nonso and Temitope, are we good? Great, 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 great. So now we're going to move into the breakout rooms. And how we are going to do this is we have 2 rooms. So this current room and an extra one. We're going to go into those rooms and we're going to practice this introduction of selves. Are we good? Do we understand what we're going to do? Okay, no reactions. Let me take it again. So we are going to have breakout sessions in this room, one here. So if you want to stay here, you can stay here. And an extra one has been provided with the link. I'll post the link shortly. You can join that. You can take it there and introduce yourself as well. So the links have been posted. If you're on the other one, I'm already in that room. So kindly join. We'll start the session. We'll start that properly by 10:35. Okay, some people are already in the second one. So you can either stay here or you can move to the second one. I'll just give us 2 minutes to know someone's mic is on. Okay. It's only one person in the other room. Yeah. Great. More people are joining. So great, 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 great. Please feel free. This session is a relaxed session. There's no pressure on it. You can Stay there. I got one of the rooms. We have that. So 1 more minute for us. We just have 5 minutes for that to just have that conversation. This room is still very bulky. We will finish. We will finish in 5 minutes. Mm, okay. I see some other people have joined the other room. Okay. So let's start with introductions. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? By show of hands, we'll start. Or do we start? Okay, Chukudi.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, okay,
Morning,
let me just go
Chukudi.
straight. Okay. So this if I am comfortable with someone to kind of make an introduction. So this is how I'll put it. My name is Igwen Chukudi Simon. I am a computer engineering student. I'm presently learning data analysis and working towards having a tech institution. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you, Chukudi. Thank you. Temitope, you're up next.
Okay,
Thank you. Everyone is contributing. Thank you.
okay. I am Temitope Oluwatunde. I'm a business owner. I'm presently learning digital marketing in order to boost my business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Temitope. Moin, let's hear from you.
Good morning. My name is Sophia
Morning.
Olashipo. I'm a 300 level student of English, currently learning programming and a business owner, BB Fragrance Palace.
Thank you, Moin. Who else wants to introduce themselves? Michael, King James, Aminat. Okay, Michael.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
I'm Michael. I'm a software engineer. I'm currently learning cybersecurity in order to boost my knowledge in IT and also expand my business and outreach. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. Okay, who else wants to introduce themselves? We have 3 minutes left to do that. Let's do that. Let's network. Let's know ourselves. Who else wants to go? Who else wants to go? Nonso, we haven't heard you speak. Joshua, we haven't heard you speak. Joseph, we haven't heard you speak. Okay. Rachel said, my name is Brimo Rachel, here for digital marketing. Okay. You also have to let us know what you're building towards with digital marketing as well. Okay. Anyone else wants to go? Aminat, do you want to go? Bioye. My dear Lady Africa. Okay. While we're waiting for that, let me go. My name is Toby. I'm digital marketer, business developer. Been doing that for 3 years now. I'm still learning a lot of things, still trying to grow in it. I eventually want to use all this knowledge to help build sustainable systems in Africa, meaning companies, businesses, enterprises that are sustainable, businesses that don't start one day and drop off. I want to help businesses to grow that have inclusive solutions using tech, artificial intelligence, and innovative systems in Africa. And I want to do that between 2025 and 2030. I want to be top 5 solutions provider in Africa by 2030. So yeah, that's me. Who else wants to go now? At least I've made some friends on this call. You can always use the chat box too as well. And also, we haven't heard you speak. There are some other people. Okay, if you also want to move to the other chat room, you're still allowed to use that. The link is in the chat box. Mhm. Who else is on this call and wants to speak? Zeline is on the call. Zeline, please, we'd like to know you, who you are, what you're into, and what you're building towards. So, Madam Titilayo, you're also on the call.
Yes, sir.
Please, if you can, short introduction so that we all know ourselves on the call.
All right. My name is Titilayo Obafemi. I'm an executive virtual assistant, a LinkedIn strategist, and I also help with coaching. So all this, and I'm also learning more about building a brand and how to scale it. All this knowledge I'm getting is to like let my brand scale more than this. So this is me.
This is you. Thank you so much for that introduction. Okay, Joshua is an alumnus of MyDreamConnect. Wow. Well, a web developer, virtual assistant, data analyst, and UI UX designer. Plenty. Currently advancing his skills in data science. Sure wants to do a lot. Quite a lot. So thank you to everyone that has contributed so far. Okay, Ebenezer.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Ebenezer Abuye. I'm a lead product designer with over 3 years plus of expertise in crafting design-driven solutions. And I'm learning towards helping startups, founders to transform new ideas and also their raw ideas into sleek, user-centered digital products that attract users and drive multiple growth. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, sir. In the list of experts, field experts. Anyone still wants to go, we have 1 more minute before we get back to the main session. Okay, Joseph. Joseph says, I'm Joseph Jugana Kamau. I hope I'm getting that name correctly. If I'm not, my apologies. I'm into web and backend development, currently working on Flutter, Dart, and UI UX design. It's a privilege to meet you, Mr. Joseph. An honor, an honor, an honor. I'm sure I follow a lot of people from here on LinkedIn, which once we get back to the session, we'll all be dropping our LinkedIn names as well. So, okay, let's bring everyone back here. Hi everyone, kindly give us a minute. We're trying to get everyone that left back here. Thank you for your patience. Okay, thank you everyone for jumping in on that quick activity. I'm sure we've all moved from uh, being strangers, at least now we're acquaintances. We know ourselves a little better. So thank you everyone. Thank you for executing, because learning is not enough. You need to also learn how to execute. And networking starts when you start showing up, which we just did now. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Please give yourself a round of applause. It's not easy to introduce yourself and break that ice. It's not easy. It could be tense for some people, but thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So we'll be moving into question and answer time now. Zeline is still. Hi, Zeline. Okay. Aviation, digital marketing, data analysis, and she wants to become a powerhouse in the industry. Thank you, Zaline, for that. So we're going to be taking questions and answers now for our facilitators. Are there any questions for our facilitators? Okay, we had a question earlier. Is Fatima still on the call? Are you still on the call? Let's take, okay. So Georgine's question at the beginning was, I'm trying to find Georgine's question. Second. Okay, Georgine wanted you to touch a bit on how you explain change of career at your CV. Would you please do that for us?
Please, Toby, can you take that again?
Okay, Georgine wanted you to explain how you input a change of career in a CV.
Yeah, great. So I always tell people that wherever you're coming from, you have to own it, right? Whatever experience you have before now. So Georgine, let's assume you want to transition into, say, customer service, or no, I'm trying to for a tech role. What are you currently learning now, Georgine? You can drop that in chat. Let us assume software development, right? And she's coming from a customer service sector. You need to first sit down with yourself and highlight transferable skills. Highlight the skills you currently have now as a customer service representative, and highlight the skills that you want to, that you know that software developers need to thrive in their job. And then putting them side by side will help you understand which ones you can transfer are transferable from your customer service experience to where you're going to. That's one, right? Two, when you're applying for a job that you're transitioning into from another sector, tailoring your CV comes into play. You have to be very particular about your CV. So when you're applying for a software developer role, even though you don't have that experience, you are highlighting a project you have worked on. That is major thing you're capitalizing on. And for your past roles, highlight, now look at it. So when you hear, oh, tailor your CV, only put things that are relevant to the job you're applying for. What they mean is that if you have a role, an achievement on your CV that is in no way related to where you are going to, delete it. It doesn't matter. We don't need it. So I even did just 2-3 bullet points in your previous role that speaks about, oh, maybe managing teams, communication, things that have to do with delivering and optimizing something. You highlight those 3 and then you move on. But I highlight the things that are sort of related to the skill you're moving to, the role you're moving to. I hope Georgine is on the call and I hope she understands that. First, you need to highlight your transferable skills, and then when you're applying with your CV, tailor your CV to what you're applying for. Don't just put all the generic roles or responsibilities you've carried out as a customer service rep. Only highlight the ones that are very relevant to where you're going to. Communication. That's something that we know that they talk about. Software devs, they need to communicate more. You need to highlight something like that. Working within teams is something you capitalize on. I hope you understand that.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please, if there are any questions, please, you can raise your hands or you can use the chat box. We'll take questions for another 5 minutes, then an announcement before we wrap up. Okay, so I have a question for both for you, Fatima and Titilayo. So if someone is learning, for instance, the person doesn't have a job currently, right? Students. Can the person have a resume and a LinkedIn profile? And what should go on there? No experience, students still learning. The person have a resume or not, and what can go on there? I'll start with you, Madam Fatima.
Okay, so yes, the person can absolutely have a resume, a CV, a LinkedIn profile. For the CV aspect, right? What should be captured? Yes, what you are studying, the skill set you have, and I think I mentioned in my last session, as a student, you need to be volunteering for something. Even if it is just a one-day event that you're volunteering for, volunteer for something so that is captured in your CV. Be strategic about your career because everything doesn't end with your schooling. So you need to adapt and see what else you can do in school, whether it's involving yourself in the executives of your department or your faculty. You need to do something that can capture, because this, when recruiters see that you did something with teams or in leadership positions while you're in school, they're able to see that you're a go-getter. Any recruiter who says ISEC on your CV, for instance, if your school has ISEC and you participated, you were part of their volunteers, it shows something. It shows that you're already used to working within a structure. So look for opportunities within your school to capture. Now, if you do not have currently, your career profile just states who you are and what your skill sets are and what you're looking to do with your career. Highlight your education, your interest. I said there's some basic things that you already have from the what's it called that I listed that you should have. So just highlight it, no matter how scanty it is. You know that it shouldn't be more than one page. Don't say, oh, because you don't have an experience, you now put your picture, you put your personal details that are not relevant. No, just stick to what is applicable and apply to roles that align. So don't go apply to roles that says 5 years experience, 3 years experience. Apply to roles that align with your 0 years of experience. So they can see that this person wants to learn. Internship, entry-level roles. I hope that answered your question. And before, I remember somebody asked that if they could share their CV with me. Yes, for review. Yes, you can send your CV. Share it with me. I prefer to review CVs via email, so I can drop my email address if that's fine. Toby can drop my email address, but the subject should read from MyDreamConnect, so that I know that this is from MyDreamConnect and I will respond. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. But the email will be dropped into the chat box. Okay, Madam Stella, the same question to you. Some for learners, people that do not have experience yet, what's the best way to represent yourself, especially on LinkedIn?
All right. I'm going to be coming from two angles. What I tell or what we tell people at NovaSync is that when we're doing portfolio building is that if you are doing a training at the moment, like maybe you're doing a training for data analysis, every task and every assignment given to you should be part of what you're using for building your CV and portfolio. And also, another angle that you can do is that we'll ask you to go to ChatGPT. Once you go to ChatGPT, we ask you that you're going to tell ChatGPT to give you a mock case study. A mock case study. Now, ChatGPT will give you a task on that particular case study that you want, and you can do it, and you can use it for your portfolio. And also, like Fatima said, volunteering is necessary. Why I said necessary is that I advise people that why volunteering is necessary, one for networking, one for building, because while you're volunteering for a particular organization, you get to meet new people who would also help you. And also you get to have your hands on the job. Now, if I'm someone who is just coming out, assuming I want to use an example that I'm just coming out of ALX now, and two people, let me say two people, so you guys can understand. Now, let's say Joy came out of ALX and Sandra came out of ALX. Sandra did volunteering and Joy did not. Now, Joy is looking for job, Sandra is looking for job. Now, who do you think is going to have more authority in that particular training? Is Sandra, because Sandra has gone to a particular organization, has seen how they run the organization, has seen what to do, has seen the basic roles and responsibilities, because it goes more than training. And that's the blunt truth. It goes more than training, because if you want to have, yes, thank you very much, Toby. Sandra is already exposed to what it takes to be a virtual assistant or a web designer or a UI UX in an organization. So that is why I say volunteering is compulsory, is necessary for someone who is just training. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. So if you're a learner, because we're all lifelong learners, I'm sure, but for people who haven't had any official experience volunteering, as much as possible, posting as much as possible, and also leveraging thoughts from others too. As people are posting, learn something, you to post, repost, comment as much as possible. So if there are any questions, you can drop them on the chat box for now. We have a couple of minutes left, or if you want to unmute, you have 2 minutes to do that while we just go through the announcement. Thank you so much to everyone. So you can be doing that. Let me just go through the announcements that we have for you in place. Okay, so while we're still on the subject of networking, personal brand visibility, MyDreamConnect also has a summit coming up in November, which is the Fortified Summit. Now, the Fortified Summit is a place where ideas meets opportunity. It's a place where you're going to learn a lot from thought leaders, be it in education, business, technology. The Fortified Summit is for you. And the Fortified Summit is happening in Lagos on 28th and 29th at the Aero Lab of the Unilag campus. For those of us in Lagos, we can attend physically. For those of us not in Lagos, you can also connect virtually. And the Fortified Summit, aside having those features of us learning from industry experts like this, We're also having a hackathon challenge, which for everyone learning one tech skill or the other, or even for non-tech people, if you have an idea, business idea, if you have a product or a solution to something involving business, education, tech, innovation, whatever, the Fortified Summit has a special hackathon that closes today by midnight. So what you need to do is rush on over to the summit site, which will be dropped in the link, which will be dropped in the chat box. That is tfs.mydreamconnect.org.ng. It will be dropped in the chat box. And the hackathon challenge starts from, it's going to be taking place from the 28th to the 29th. Then at the Air Lab, then the Creative Studio takes place at, the Creative Studio is for the summit on the 29th. So a link has been dropped in the chat box for the Fortified Summit, as well as a form. Why this is important is, as we're discussing volunteering and thought building, this is a great opportunity because we still have slots for volunteers. Volunteering can come in any form. You could volunteer and help discuss the summit with someone. You could volunteer and help with the planning and ideation, not really ideation, the planning and the build up to the summit. So this is another opportunity too. If you're building work experience, if you're trying to network, collaborate, or just show that you were able to do something before the year ends, you want to add something to your personal profile, your LinkedIn, your CV, this is also another opportunity for you for the Fortified. So volunteer roles are still open. Summit is still open for signups, coincidentally. So the link has been dropped. The link for the summit has been dropped on the chat box for you to check. Go through it, sign up to attend or to volunteer, or for the hackathon. If you have a business idea and you want to showcase that with your team, that will develop that live and be shown to a couple of mentors, investors, and potential partners, please head over to tfs.mydreamconnect.org.ng, fill the form, and we're go. So in the absence of any questions, I thought there'll be more questions for our facilitators, but in the absence of any questions, we want to thank our facilitators today. We just love parting words from, okay, Madam Stella is on the call. Fatima, please, any parting words before we leave today? What should we take into the next week?
Yeah, so I think the only thing I would say is for everybody to take their CV as a key personal branding tool, because before you walk into rooms, your CV goes before you, and your CV makes a statement about who you are and what you represent. So to ensure that you are, and they say perception is reality, to ensure that whoever is hiring has a very good first perception about you. So please treat your CV as a document that is very important. Don't treat it as if it's just a tool. Just treat it well. Formatting key, get the right things correctly. Highlight your achievement. Brag about yourself. I always like to say that. Brag about yourself. Nobody's going to tell your story. Tell your story yourself in the best way you want it to be told. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you very much, Baba. Her mail is also dropped on the chat box. For the template that was supposed to be shared today, I'm sure you could get access to that if you send a mail. If not enough, I'm sure we can get her for another session. But you would obviously have to send a mail. So that is just a quick tip to every participant here. So thank you very much for staying through. Thank you. It has been 2 hours of getting to learn a lot today. Final thing is your story is your bridge. Your story has to be communicated on both your LinkedIn and your resume. Use your story. Be intentional about your story. Be intentional about crafting your story. Be intentional about networking, talking to people. Once you're able to build your personal story, you can tell other people your story. You can collaborate and you can get people that move along on your journey. So thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us for the entirety of our session. We really appreciate that. Please give yourself a thumbs up, an emoji. Appreciate yourself. You have been awesome today. Thank you so much. You're taking the first step into being future proof. So thank you. If no one's going to appreciate themselves, I'm going to appreciate you. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. And as always, whatever you learned, please put into action, improve your CVs, improve your LinkedIn, and we will see you next week, Saturday, same time, 9 to 11, for our sessions. Thank you so much for the package today. Thank you to all my colleagues too as well for facilitating this. Thank you to our facilitators as well. We really appreciate you for your time and effort today. Thank you so much. So see you next week. Bye bye, everyone.